California Custom Knife Show 2015 in Anaheim at the Kramer Custom Knives booth with Mr. Eric Kramer. How you doing, sir?
Good.
I'm Stuart. We chatted a little bit as when I first got here, and you've been kind of jammed up at your table, even though you currently have only 3 knives remaining, which is a good thing, of course. And but I wanted to talk to you about your background, what got you started into knife making, and I can't help but notice, I got to say it, brother, you got the Guinness Custom Knives t-shirt going. Anything on the back? Don't worry, I won't shoot your butt. Okay, just his logo. Okay. Yeah, I won't shoot your butt. But again, you're down to 3 knives, which is, of course, a good thing for you.
Yep.
You have some interesting ergonomics here, and again, I'd just be interested in what got you started in knife making.
I started knife making about 10 years ago, so summer of 2005. I was active duty military. I retired from the Coast Guard last year, and at that point, I had started a unit that we went to the range a lot and shot a lot at work. So that used to be my pastime.
A lot of firearms action. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I needed a new hobby because my old hobby became work. So I started making knives, and one thing led to another, and I like throwing money down the toilet.
So there we go.
Now I've got a really cool tool collection in my garage.
Well, quite frankly, I don't think that this is toilet material, but I understand you're joking around.
You got to start someplace.
Exactly, you got to start somewhere. Now, you mentioned something about the t-shirt you're wearing. Did Mr. McGinnis have anything to do with that?
Yeah, I was stationed in North Carolina, and Jerry was one of the first guys I met, invited me down to the shop, and basically gave me a serious case of tool envy every time I'd go down and show me, oh no, you need one of these, and you need one of these, and I did, and so that's my influence from Jerry. He's been a good friend, and definitely shows me where to put my money.
For investment into the company itself.
Yeah, and it's for tooling, and I mean, the guy makes phenomenal knives. So
right.
It kind of gives me something to aim for.
Right. Nothing better than a good target.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was you've been making knives for about 10 years, correct?
About 10 years. Yeah.
What was your first design? Were you into fixed knives at first, or?
Yeah, everything up until about summer after blade of 2012 is when I started doing folders. So everything up until that point was fixed blades, more tactical style. The main focus of the knives that I was making were outdoors, tactical knives, military guys. So a lot of sandblasted, which is this is still kind of a carryover from the very utilitarian knives. I don't generally make a lot of pretty stuff. I want something that the guy's going to put in their pocket and take out and beat on and use because it's a tool. At the end of the day,
the end of the story, it's that's what it's for.
So after Blade of 2012, I had a lot of people coming up going, "Hey, these are really cool. Where are the ones that fold up and I can stick in my pocket?" So I was like, okay, it's time to start making folders. And made a version of this folder for my first one. And this is the Type R Bravo, so this is the second blade evolution of the Reaper type knives that I'm making, which is a folding version of one of the fixed blades, the Reaper Fighter Mark II.
Okay.
I'm still doing some of the fixed blades, but now I'm focusing more on the folders, and I've got a pretty good back order of stuff going on right now.
And that seems to be kind of a natural progression for a lot of knife makers to get into the fixed and then get into folders and almost sometimes commit wholeheartedly to folders.
Yeah, it really is. What I learned from it, you have to learn to grind a knife,
right,
in my opinion. Once you learn to grind it, then worry about making it lock up and fold, and the real details of how to make it work as a folder.
Right.
Because it's a lot more detail oriented. You have a lot less room for error on a folder than the fixed blades.
And your folders are frame locks, correct? Well, no, this is a liner lock.
This is the liner lock. Yeah. This was the first frame lock that I did.
Okay. Very good. And when did you do your first frame lock?
The SLB came out, I introduced it at Blade this year, so this is a fairly new model within the last, I think I did the prototypes starting back in, I think, March of this year. I did 6 prototypes just to kind of get a feel for what I thought the design would do. I wanted something that was smaller, more sheeple-friendly knife than the big giant tactical folder here. But I can put wood on this. I can really dress this model up.
Right. And the blade length on this is what, about 3?
It's right at 3 inches.
Right at 3 inches.
Yeah.
So it'll fit very nicely with a lot of jurisdictional issues.
Yes.
For some folks. Yeah. Okay.
And that was one of the reasons I went into that design, was I had a lot of guys going, oh dude, I really like the knife, but it's just too big to carry. Make something with a smaller blade.
Yeah.
So this should get into a lot more, office type settings and suit pockets instead of,
And may I again?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And the weight on this is suitable for not necessarily slacks, but like suits, like business suits.
Yeah.
Business suit pockets will, this is not, and the material on this is?
It's titanium and blade steel's S35.
Okay, so the handle is all titanium.
Yep.
And the blade S35. Yeah, so obviously lending a lot to the lightweight aspect of that knife.
Right.
And again, it's going to, I have to wear a suit sometimes.
Yeah.
And so something like this is not going to sag that pocket like the knife I have on right now, which is, even though I can wear it with a suit, it's going to definitely present itself with a little bit of a saggy issue, and even probably some pocket wear that is going to look bad. So, because a guy in a suit's got to look good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way I can make a suit look good, trust me.
That's why I'm wearing this.
There you go. Okay, so what price point on this model?
They start at 500.
Okay.
And then they kind of go up from there depending on what we do. Material-wise.
Extra work, etc.
Yeah.
And then price point on...
These start at 550. This one is 775 because of the Westinghouse micarta and the anodization and the features that are on that knife.
Right. Okay, very good. Well, listen, favorite beer?
Not much of a beer guy, more of a whiskey guy.
Whiskey? What type?
Right now, my go-to
Scotch. No, I'm kidding.
Bullet Rye.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that again?
Bullet Rye.
Bullet Rye.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a friend who's really into the ryes. I'm gonna have to probably try it.
That one, I haven't tried a bad one yet.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to get into the Scotch thing. So.
You are starting to get into Scotch?
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
a slippery slope.
Yeah, it is. I don't even want to go there. We don't have 2 days. Do you use cigars?
Occasionally.
Occasionally? But any particular type or shade of wrapper?
Never had a bad Padron.
Padrones are very good.
Never had a bad one.
Do you like Maduros or more natural?
Maduros.
Maduros, yeah, Maduros. Smooth. Well, listen, Eric, you take good care, brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And travel safe. Where are you out of?
San Diego.
Oh, you're San Diego. I already covered that.